first they mocked ICE, they filmed ICE, then they attacked them. But now ICE isn't just responding, they're retaliating. And if you think this is just about Portland, you missing a big picture. This is coordinated. This was federal. This was the signal. Let's get into it, team. Think.
Restricted area that may be subject to detention. This is the Federal Protective Service. The facility is closed and not open to the public. Stay out of the area of the driveway to allow for vehicular traffic. Remain on the sidewalk or across the street. Everyone must leave this restricted area that may be subject to detention or arrest for failing to depart the restricted area.
This was the moment ICE flipped the energy back on Antifa. They didn't show up screaming, you know, they didn't show up scared in any capacity. They showed up playing Trump's voice through the speakers like some sort of war hymn. Now, I want you to let that sink in for sure. The same agency the left wanted to abolish is now mocking them using the man they hate the most. I tell y'all what, that's just not only tactical, that's psychological right there. You know what I mean? I can get with that. But here's what you didn't see in the headlines.
It is July 15th, 2025, and these are the ICE agents that are abducting more family members in San Diego. Do you guys want to be on film? Can you guys give us some name and badge numbers? Yep. Oh, respectable space? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Here they are, you guys, abducting family members. Still abducting family members. At 9:40 a.m. You guys, these are the ICE agents here. Sorry, I'm just recording. All right, yep, I got you. Okay, yep, absolutely, yep. All right, step back. All right, okay. Hello, are you Mexican? Damn, what a shame. Is that your girlfriend? Hey, do you want to show your face, or you don't want to show it because for your family, or what is it? Just for your privacy? Okay. Well, this guy's no shame. All right, don't bump into me. I see what you were trying to do. Don't bump into me. Don't bump into me. Stop ripping families apart!
So just hours later, ICE agents in California are fully masked, fully armed, and you got this hostile agitator right here with his digital ambush, phones out, and attempting, I guess, to dox in real time. And this is why they wear masks now, not because they're hiding, because you know what happens when Democrat leaks their names. You see, homie did walk through, though, with his face just, like he didn't care. He's like, all right, man, you know, FAFO. You had the FAFO energy. No, but this is where the transition starts. From agents being hunted to ICE becoming the hunter. Now, right here, here's a mugshot of one of the suspects who attacked ICE, who attacked in an ICE detention center in Texas, I'm sorry. Yeah, and we also got an update on the guy who had opened fire in California. We'll talk about that in a second, but quietly, efficiently, we got one less problem. This is what happens when policy actually has teeth. And when activists scream, no justice, no peace, I said, no paperwork, no country. But let's go deeper. Because like I said, it ain't just about protesters. Well, this ain't, I guess I'm trying to say this isn't just about protesters. A $50,000 bounty is now on the head of a man who fired at federal agents during the cannabis farm raid in California. Whew, think about that. ICE getting shot at inside U.S. borders by cartel-linked operations running under the nose of Democrat governors. Now, I don't know much about this guy outside of what the information they're giving us. But y'all still think this was about compassion? This is looking like war out here, man. And ICE finally lit the match. But this cleanup isn't just on the ground. It's in the courtroom.
Ravi, the court system is a major component of immigration enforcement in this country that judges say is being tossed aside in favor of expedited deportations. But since the start of his second term, President Donald Trump's administration has been firing immigration judges with years of experience. Now, 2 former judges are being blunt with the I-team about what they've seen and what they now fear.
Oh my God!
Judge Jennifer Payton was the assistant chief immigration judge overseeing Chicago's immigration court for nearly 9 years.
I kept telling myself, and my husband kept saying, like, they're going to have to fire me. I'm not quitting.
Judge Payton is still reeling after being dumped in an email over the 4th of July weekend while on vacation with her family.
There's 3 complete sentences. No reason, no cause.
Judge Payton oversaw thousands of asylum and other removal cases. Now the contents of her office are stuffed in boxes, and she's sifting through the last 6 months.
Within a couple hours of the inauguration of President Trump, 4 senior leaders, all female, were fired by email. February 14th, a group of 7 assistant chief immigration judges like myself all received emails in the afternoon firing without cause.
Why?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
No.
The upheaval has sent other immigration judges running for the exits.
There was a massive change in the tone.
Now, former Chicago immigration judge Christy Nelson said by April she couldn't take it anymore.
It was basically like we were being told that we weren't valued, that they just wanted to get rid of us.
The immigration court system is convoluted. It actually isn't a court in the traditional sense. Despite it having judges, attorneys on both sides, and hearings, it does not fall under the judicial branch, and it's separate from criminal court.
You're less independent because you're a part of the executive branch of government.
And it's the Attorney General who can, and now is, firing immigration judges. Judge Jennifer Payton's 3-sentence termination letter came from the Executive Office for Immigration Review, a branch that reports to the Attorney General. That office denied the I-team's request for an interview or any comment.
I think that there's an effort going on to bypass the immigration courts.
One way to bypass the courts, the use of expedited removal, a process in which ICE can detain someone and deport them in a matter of days.
Exactly.
When there's fewer judges, I think the administration is going to be using expedited removal. They are using expedited removal more frequently than in the past, and it results in more people being deported.
I'm worried about myself and my future, but I'm really mostly worried about our country.
Late this afternoon, Senator Dick Durbin released a statement calling Judge Payton's firing an abuse of power and punishment for a non-political judge. Durbin says he met with Payton in Chicago Immigration Court late last month, triggering an email to the judge from the Department of Justice saying, quote, immigration judges should not directly communicate with members of Congress and congressional staff, and required all communication from congressional offices to be forwarded to headquarters for review and response. Judge Payton was fired soon after. And this story is still ongoing. Another Chicago immigration judge was fired just this past Friday after we spoke to these 2 other judges.
But they're not saying that's the reason she was fired necessarily.
She was not given any reason.
Wow.
All right, Liz, thank you for that story.
Of the 438,421 people Obama deported from the U.S. in 2013, about 83% did not have a hearing, never saw an immigration judge, or were kicked out of the country by the same officer who made the arrest. Expedited removal was signed into law by Bill Clinton. This is a comment directly up under here. Yeah, exactly. It seems like they just want to negate facts. Chicago's head immigration judge fired. FA and FO, no leaks, no ceremony, just 3-sentence termination. Why? Because while the media was focused on bathroom policies, Trump's administration was draining the judicial swamp. The left won't show you this because it proves the courts were compromised. And if the courtroom is corrupt, who's really deciding who stays and who gets deported? Now, it gets even darker than this, y'all. Whew.
Operation Take Back America, where federal law enforcement really works together closely with our state and local partners to try to make our communities safer places to live. So we're here today to provide you with some information about an indictment that was returned and some related law enforcement activity that took place yesterday. On July 2nd, a federal grand jury in Shreveport returned a 62-count indictment charging 5 individuals, including law enforcement officers and a business leader in central Louisiana, with conspiracy, immigration fraud, robbery, mail fraud, and money laundering offenses. Those charged in the indictment are Chandrakant Patel of Oakdale, Chad Doyle, Chief of Police of the City of Oakdale, Michael Slaney, the Marshal for Ward 5 Marshal Office in Oakdale, Glenn Dixon, the former Chief of Police of Forest Hill, and Tebow Owisha, the former Chief of Police for the City of Glamora. In connection with these charges, these individuals were arrested yesterday by federal law enforcement agents, and agents executed search warrants at multiple locations throughout central and south central Louisiana, to include the Oakdale Police Department, the Forest Hill Police Department, and a Subway sandwich store in Oakdale that was operated by Mr. Patel. The indictment, which we'll give you all copies of in a few minutes, alleges that beginning sometime in 2015 and continuing until July of this year, the defendants conspired to commit visa fraud. Specifically, the indictment alleges that the defendants fraudulently obtained or assisted in obtaining non-immigrant U visas. A non-immigrant U visa is a visa that was authorized by Congress to allow foreign nationals without any official status in the United States to remain in the country under certain circumstances when they're victims of a crime or witnesses to crime. These visas are designed to help law enforcement and prosecutors prosecute crimes where you need the victim or the witness there. And so these U visas serve a valuable purpose, and this is the case where the U visas were abused. As set forth in the indictment, the law recognizes that documentation for these cases is needed and requires that police reports are created to establish that the applicant was a victim or a witness of the crime. It also requires, in certain circumstances, the law enforcement officer to sign off on certain federal immigration forms indicating that this is a proper person to remain in the United States. In this case, the indictment alleges that Patel, Doyle, Slaney, Dixon, and Onisha, and others produced and authenticated false police reports in several central Louisiana parishes. Each report listed several victims of purported armed robberies in central Louisiana, and the defendants produced false police reports so that the purported victims of the robberies could apply for U visas. There was an unusual concentration of armed robberies, a large number of armed robberies of people that were not from Louisiana and in some of our smaller communities in Louisiana, and they were alleging that those people were victims of armed robberies. Well, in fact, the armed robberies never took place, and those listed in the applications were never victims of crime. Instead, these people would pay Mr. Patel, who would in turn pay Doyle, Slaney, Dixon, and Onisha to create false police reports so that fraudulent visa applications could be submitted to the United States government. The indictment alleges that Patel paid these law enforcement officers $5,000 for each foreign national placed on the law enforcement report. The U visa program allows not only the victim of the crime or the witness of the crime to remain in the United States, it also allows their family members to remain in the United States. And so when you had an application, it could involve several people. So the money that was paid to the corrupt law enforcement agents was significant.
4 Louisiana law enforcement officers, 1 businessman, all indicted for creating fake U visas for illegal. I'm telling you, the jail time is all they need. All right. That's the only day. What else? They invented fake crimes, submitted fake reports, profited off federal programs meant for real victims. This is Democrat policy in action right here that you're seeing. Exploit the system, then call it compassion, and punish anyone who calls it what it really is. Fraud. I found them, exposed them, charged them. That's what real reform actually looks like. Now, real quick, let's go southwest.
A taco owner now behind bars for human smuggling. He was demanding $12,000 per person per his employee. Listen to the story. Phoenix taco shop owner arrested for harboring illegal aliens. Vladimir Angolo Adavi, an illegal alien owner of the El Taco Loco in Phoenix, was arrested July 8th after ICE and HSI raided his home, restaurant, taco truck, and trailer. Federal charges include harboring and employing illegal aliens, illegal re-entry into the United States, possession of firearm by an illegal alien. Angola was employing at least 12 illegal aliens, several of whom was living in his two residences in Levine and Phoenix. Now, multiple employees told investigators that Angola paid for their arranged illegal entry to the U.S., demanding $12,000 per person for smuggling fee, which they were expected to repay through labor. Angola previously entered the United States illegally in 2011, left in 2021, and re-entered illegally just months later. I'm sure he was getting away with it for quite a while. The fact that he can purchase a home like this, wow, just wow.
Right here in the valley, and Vladimir Angula, he's the owner of El Taco Loco with a location near 67th Avenue and Indian School Road, and also 2 mobile restaurants. His arrest was part of what's being called Operation Take Back America, a nationwide initiative to crack down on illegal immigration. At El Taco Loco in West Phoenix, the lights are still on, but the man who owns it is in federal custody on immigration charges.
This is far from the dangerous criminals that they have a target to take.
Far from dangerous criminals, she says.
You're also affecting individuals who are stimulating the economy.
Earlier this week, Homeland Security investigation.
He should get a pass for that.
The home and business of Vladimir Angula, an undocumented immigrant himself. He's accused of employing a dozen undocumented immigrants, letting some of them live on his property. Agents also say they found 3 guns and ammo during the raid.
Oh, wow.
In court paperwork, former employees said Angulo paid or arranged for the illegal entry for some of the employees, an accusation Angulo denies.
If we arrest an illegal alien in the county jail, I'm thinking he's not a choir boy. So, they broke the law entering this country and they committed another crime. They're going to be a priority of this administration.
HSI agents began their investigation into Angulo and his business in March.
But to have HSI perform such an investigation and such a in-depth investigation, because I read the memo and the points of authorities, it's kind of a waste of resources.
Did she say that was a waste of resources? The man is harboring illegal. Not only that, running a human smuggling ring and charging $12,000 per person. How is that a waste of resources? The mindset. Wow.
Literally. So a taco shop owner, illegal himself, charged $12,000 per head to smuggle illegals into Arizona. He bought luxury homes, ran mobile food trucks, and forced people to repay him through labor. Is that not modern day slavery, Democrats? Ain't that what y'all preach against, right? And Democrats looking the other way? Because if they admit this is happening, they lose the narrative. But ICE didn't look away. They raided him. They shut it all down. And just when the left thought the tone couldn't get any more serious, Senator Kennedy brought the smoke.
What do you think?
They're breaking the law. And what you allow is what will continue. If you put hands on an ICE officer, you should be prosecuted, you should be sent to jail, and you should get to spend some quality time with Bubba. Until we start doing that and prosecuting these folks, it will continue.
Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana is here.
Oh man, that's not a joke. That's the temperature now. They've been playing defense for too long. Now it's offense. And for anyone who thinks they can touch federal agents and walk away, the only thing you're walking into is a prison bus, okay? Same thing. It wasn't just a week of enforcement. This was a message. I mean, ICE isn't just back. Right now, man, they off the leash. You feel me? Portland, Troll, California, armed, Chicago, purged, Louisiana indicted, Arizona raided, Texas deported. And the same liberals who screamed abolish ICE are now dead silent. Why? Because this time, ICE isn't knocking, man. They're kicking down the door. So ask yourself, if they had this level of coordination all along, what else have they been waiting to release? Stay sharp, y'all. Stay well. Do something today. Go check on somebody today. Do something for me today, rather. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.